Today is a lesson in patience. Join me today as we take a look at this Deadpool and Wolverine dynamic duo from ZDToys. And why is this video a lesson in patience? Well, because sometimes we just need to slow down and not try to get a hold of these characters and figures immediately, especially when the movie just came out. But it's also a lesson in patience for the studio, the creators. These are licensed figures from ZDToys, and these come from AliExpress. It's the only way I really know how to get a hold of them. Doesn't matter. The price range is going to be about 25 to 30 each, depending on the store and how in demand they are at the time. These guys do run in a 1/10 scale, which is kind of a lot of scale. No, it's kind of big. So it's bigger than your Marvel Legends stuff. These guys are going to stand out kind of on their own. There might be some other lines that you can mix in with this, but not your Marvel Legends stuff. We're here for these things. We're here to see what's the big deal that I'm making out of all of this. Now, box-wise, these things are great. So you got the front, you got some nice artwork on the sides, you got some fun stuff with the figures and poses. Other side, you got just the logos. Bottom, nothing. And you're chopping nothing. Back of the box, you've got the figures in all of their potential glory. Now, this is obviously an iconic suit, and we've been waiting for this forever. This we've essentially seen, but there were some major changes, minor changes, like the gold and stuff. Anyway, we need to open these things up because we're really kind of lacking here on what we're looking at. Now, ZDToys, I do have, I don't know where it's at, but I have an Iron Man that was sent to me from Ben Carter quite a while back, but that thing price-wise is spectacular. They make really nice figures, especially the Iron Man stuff. But these things, I'm gonna show you what the ordeal is, why I'm saying all the things I'm saying. Now, the packaging, just like their Iron Man stuff, is nice, high quality, good print work, and then they have magnets closing everything in. Obviously AliExpress, so smushed up a bit. Upon first glance, this is looking really nice, okay? You got some accessories in the bottom. You do have a stand, so value-wise, these things are great. It's just the decisions that were made leave them a little kind of poopy. Also, you know what? Why isn't anybody making Wolverine without his freaking sleeves? I think that's the one we all want. I mean, this is like, you get this first right off the bat in the movie, this costume, but without the mask. You never see the mask till the end. So everybody's making toys like this. A couple companies have a maskless version or just Marvel Legends, but nobody is doing the sleeveless option, which is, I think, what we all want. Well, exciting news, because if you check out this website, which I have no affiliation with, they actually have sleeveless arm options for Wolverine. Now, this is specifically for the Marvel Legends version that's coming out, but again, that's the only one that comes with a maskless head sculpt. So this is a no-brainer. It's only $10.90. I don't know what shipping is going to be. I've never used this website before, but I think this is going to be worth grabbing. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, or I'm just getting or I'm on a tangent. Yeah. All right, so let's slide Wolverine over there and open up this Deadpool, because this is kind of, I don't know. Because why? I don't need to say anything. I could just cut to it. Same thing with the magnet on the flap there. You get a nice view of the boy in his packaging and all the accessories here in the box. Like I said, the value is certainly here. So let's just start, I think, with the Deadpool figure. So sculpt work, it's looking pretty good. There's some choices that were made to really kind of give this guy some life, like these folds and creases and stuff in the mask and the neck section, which does look good. The costume looks good. The texture looks fantastic. It doesn't have a lot of life in it like SH Figure Arts figures, where they add some extra paint and stuff to give it depth. These are pretty much just like plastic, and that's it. You get a little bit of paint. Nice details here in the weapons and the holsters and stuff. But the only gold I'm seeing is that right there, and that isn't great. Like, he had a lot more obvious gold sections, like his little blade things that I think are supposed to be stored right here. Nothing on the hands. There's absolutely no gold on the gloves, which is unfortunate. And then these are clearly from like when they first fight like this, but he doesn't have his mask on. So these are some of the decisions. So talking about Deadpool, the lack of gold is kind of a problem, because that's what sets him apart from the other movies. Now, the swords that are in the box, again, there's absolutely no detail here in the handles, which is really unfortunate, because this would all have the gold as well. The blades seem nice and thick, which is good as far as like the construction goes, which ZDToys has made good quality figures. So I don't think that's gonna be the problem. It's the choices and the lack of paint that is causing this thing to be a problem for me. Alternate hands in the box, you get some pointing fingers, which is good, definitely. I mean, anything that adds some character to Deadpool, because he has no face. You get gripping hands for the swords, and I guess his guns, even though he doesn't have trigger fingers. And then he's got punching hands on by default. You also, of course, get baby knife, which is fine as far as the details and stuff go. I don't recall if that had any specific gold parts to it. I'm sure it did. And then that would just go into his little holster here on the right side of his leg, which did change from the previous times it was on his left leg. And you get some alternate eyes, which is definitely needed for a Deadpool. We see that with SH Figuarts, and it makes a huge difference in giving him some expressions. So on by default are just these basic neutral eyes. You get this one, which is supposed to be a little bit more of like a squinted eye, but it's not very noticeable. So it's like they went through the efforts here, but it's not really paying off. And then this eye set, which does stand out a bit more compared to the others. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely want more. And then obviously you can do some combinations of swapping out left and right eyes. And while we're checking out this Deadpool, do not forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and comment down below. Let me know which brand of Deadpool and Wolverine figures are you looking forward to the most? In the box, you get a stand. It just has this kind of sticker on top of it. Clearly the movie logo, but it's fine. What am I saying? I don't know. And this stand is very similar to what I saw with the Iron Man one, where, oops, multiple hinges, which is great. So you can do some really fun dynamic poses with these things. And it has the spring-loaded. There we go. Looking at the main figure, so I know we kind of glanced at it a little bit, but we didn't talk about articulation like at all because I'm stupid. So let's talk with the let's look at the head. Articulation is kind of minor, nothing crazy. Body articulation, he's got some okay crunches. We got some left and right leaning, which is really, really nice. The shoulder articulation, left arm's a little tougher, but because these pads are kind of on their own little hinge thing, you can get a little bit more range out of it, which is nice. You have some rotation up there at that ball joint, double jointed elbows, which are great, and wrist pegs are some sort of ball peg, but it's not, man, that's kind of weird. I don't know. That is going to be certainly limiting compared to like a traditional ball hinge thing that we see on imports. Oh, he has like no rotation there at the waist at all. Really bad. Why can't he rotate? As far as the legs go, I'm a little concerned about how these are set up because the sides are so sharp and tall, but maybe we can get, okay, so pretty decent on the splits, but nothing crazy. Got double jointed knees. There's no rotation really down the leg. And then these ankles, which are kind of okay. Toe articulation, which is nice. Now, the thing is with my biggest problems with this, as far as the whole lesson in patience, is that they really missed out on a lot of the details. The gold paint is pretty much non-existent except for like right there, which is crazy to me. And then the guns don't come out of the holsters, so those are permanent, which is why you don't have trigger finger hands. And then on the back, the way his swords go in, he's missing the scabbards, or the sheaths. I guess scabbard, because whatever. People always correct me, I don't care. But the swords just go in like that, which is wrong. He has those sheaths, scabbards, whatever. Have always been there, and now he doesn't have it, which is a really dumb move. So now you have this kind of inaccurate looking Deadpool that's just like, it's so close that if they would have waited just a little bit longer and put a little more effort into adding the gold, making the guns removable, and just all those little details, the sheaths, whatever, to give him that look for the movie, because this is such an iconic movie now. This is going to be a lot of people's favorite in the trilogy, and this is what you get. So I got tired of Deadpool not having all that gold that I complained about this entire video, and I painted it all myself. Even though it's very crude, it's fine. These are cheap figures. I just wanted to see if it made a big difference, and as you can see, I think that gold makes a huge difference on this figure. And that's my cat. Moving on to Wolverine, maybe this is a little bit better. So in the box, he's got these kind of relaxed hands, which are fine, nothing special there. kind of clawing hands, gripping hands, whatever. He can hold on to stuff that he doesn't have. But if you want him to hold it, whatever, I guess, is fine. He's only got one set of claws and they're all messed up. So these things are gonna need some heat and some love and care, because look at how smushed they are in the box. They're like wavy, they kind of lean. And then on this hand, yeah, they're a little smushed as well. So this is like right out of the box, not a great set, but you get, this is the only set of hands you get with claws, which is unfortunate, because maybe you wanna have some other hands with claws. I'm an idiot. He's got punching fists on by default. So it's not the worst, but not great as far as these hand options go. You do not get an alternate head. Deadpool at least has alternate eyes to give him expressions. Wolverine, you just get this. It's like, even if you couldn't get his likeness, because it looks like you definitely didn't, you could have given us one with like a gritting teeth or something, one where he's like clearly fighting, but you don't have that in here at all. Same stand that we saw with Deadpool, so let's just jump into Wolverine. So the face looks bad. Like the paint work is really awful. It's not even lined up properly. It's got like smudge effect to it, so it looks more like somebody painted a beard onto him rather than him having one. So not a fan of that at all. The face just is awful. The helmet is a little weak. It's got a lot of these extra kind of like flares of plastic. The paint isn't great. There's a crack down through the front of it. Not loving this guy. I mean, at first glance, it's great. It's not bad for the price, I guess. The yellow is not as extreme as it seems on camera. It's actually a deeper yellow than it is through this. So I don't know. If it comes across as a bright yellow, that's not right. The belt is just sculpted into him, which I guess is fine, but I feel like we're really just missing some detail and like depth to this character. It's so flat. It's just okay. Articulation for Wolverine, let's see. We got some, it's probably gonna be about the same as Deadpool. So a little bit through the head. We've got the body. He's got more than Deadpool, but you really have to force it. And there's a lot of cracking when you do it. Really doesn't have any crunch or leaning back. Some side to side is okay. Shoulders are doing okay considering these pads are here. And then some rotation there at the upper half, double jointed elbows, and those same kind of weird ball pegs. The legs, similar, not great with the splits, double jointed, which is nice, no rotation down the leg, and then just the same toe and ankle. They're really missing so much. I'm not very confident in the posing segment. I think these guys are just gonna be kind of okay with poses. Like, I'm really gonna get frustrated with not being able to get like crunch and stuff. Like you are not gonna get that iconic scene of him squatting, getting ready to attack. This is not gonna happen. And I was right. Posing these things are basically, it's not gonna happen. It's very limited. These are really just to sit on your shelf and forget about them. And look, if you pose this thing too much, all the paint scratches off. And if you have Marvel Legends Wolverine, the one that just kind of came out recently, you have a couple head sculpts that you could obviously choose. Let's see what he looks like height-wise. Yeah, that's crazy. The 1/10 scale makes a big difference. But if you wanted to try to use some tacky stuff or something and put that head on there, noticeably smaller. It's pretty goofy looking. So yeah, obviously the different scale, the head doesn't work. So to recap why this video was called A Lesson in Patience, well, because the studio should have waited longer and made better figures that were more accurate to the movies. And we as collectors need to be patient because the figures themselves really just aren't that great. At the end of the day, I'd rather wait for some Marvel Legends or the SH Figuarts, and especially since HK Toy Box is going to offer those Wolverine arms for the Marvel Legends figures. Unless you do 1/6 scale and you can afford to buy the Hot Toys Wolverine, which is definitely the way to do it. So unfortunately, the hunt continues for the best Wolverine and Deadpool figures. If you enjoyed this review, then click the top link there to watch more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.